Hello, my dear otter person. I started off with this reading with the basic question of who are you? Who is this reading for? And then, of course, I got the otter, and then I asked for some more clarification or indicators from the tea leaf deck, and this is where we are. So, I'm trying to find the otter. And you know how much difficulty I have navigating this book. Sometimes it's easier, but sometimes it's not. I feel like I've gone all around it, and yet I have not found it. There it is. Okay. Unobstructed joy, playfulness, contentment. Excuse me. So it seems like you're a relatively cheerful person most of the time. Perhaps the most joyful creature within the animal spirit deck, the otter represents absolute bliss. Otter energy is the playfulness of a child, available to us at any age. They have a giddiness and reverence for life itself without the presence of doubt, worry, or skepticism. Imagine yourself with a little more otter energy. What would life look like? What would it take to bring you there? The otter card begs these questions and wants to transport us to that precious place as soon as possible. The celebration awaits. So, are you the otter, or are you somebody who would really benefit from being a little more like the otter? That is the question. When in balance, full of love, needs nothing. When out of balance, gloomy, sighs, makes silly excuses. You will know which one you are. To bring it to balance, dance party or celebration. That sounds like fun. Okay, now we can look at the tea leaf cards. It seems that you have a new home or a new attitude, or both, or perhaps that's in the near future. Nest, an emotionally secure, loving family is important to you. This is really very confirmatory of the otter, because otters are very, very family oriented. They hang on to each other in the water. They're called rafts when they do that. But that's how they stay together when the water is very choppy or turbulent. Anyway, next we have the moon, so changes in your life, which appropriately enough came out under Broom, the new home or new attitude, or new attitude card. And then we have Bridge, successfully overcoming a problem. So, it seems that there has been a problem, or there is a problem that you are working on overcoming. Well, this seems to indicate that you will be or are having success with that. I like the way these cards are really confirming each other. The Broom, new home, new attitude goes right together with the changes. The Nest goes together with Otter. The only one that stands out is the Bridge, successfully overcoming a problem. Perhaps your message for today will address that one, since it's the only one that doesn't have a partner in some fashion. But I don't know what the message for you is for today. I have not shuffled the cards yet, and we shall see. Oh, well, that popped right out. Mending, number 52. Hang on. That's funny. One card fell out, but it was face down. I don't usually take those, as you know, but it says no place like home. It's number 50. I think it's interesting considering that we have this new home card here. So I'm not going to read it. I just thought it was funny that we're talking about a new home and there's a new home card. 52. 52, mending. Essential meanings: forgiveness, making amends, healing after arguments. The Oracle's message: each time we are hurt and allow the hurt to pass through us without understanding and integration, we accumulate an unwanted burden. This keeps us chained to the very things we need to heal: the pain, the memories, the echoes of resentments, and the arguments that we rehearse over and over. Now is the time for mending rifts, healing wounds, and letting go of the old hurts in order to reclaim your power. Now is the time to forgive, to release, to make peace, and to make amends to others. Set yourself free. That's interesting. Protection message. Heartbreak is a strange healer of souls. Our grief strips away our masks and loosens our tight hold on our separateness, where we view ourselves as I and the world as it. Loss allows us to see ourselves as part of a larger scheme, opening us up to sympathy, empathy, and dependence on others in the moments when we can't hold ourselves together. And it leads us to become one with the greater whole again. Pain and suffering is part of life, and none of us will be immune to it. Can you view this loss, this pain, this dissonance as a way back to source? Let your sorrow break your heart wide open. You will never be left behind. You are loved, now more than ever, by Spirit, who does not want you to feel alone. One day you will look back and know this truth. Wow. Okay. This is the last card in the Wisdom of the Oracle deck, which I did not realize until I finished reading it. So it seems that you have, whatever this problem has been, it has been heartbreaking. All right. I'm really getting pulled into that, so let's see what the tarot cards have to say about it. Perhaps something comforting for you. Although if it's really that heartbreaking, you're just going to have to wait for time to do its work. Things that will come along that will help. But generally speaking, if it's a really big heartbreak, there has to be some healing before even those things can help you. We've only got 2 cards so far. Now we've got 2 more. Okay. I'm going to put them out roughly in the order that they came out. At least I think that's the order they came out. All right. Although I do look at reversals, you should know that I consider the reverse meaning of cards to always be present. Whether the card is upright or reversed. And I really haven't read these yet, so I don't know why I'm saying that. So we have the 7 of Pentacles. The 7 of Pentacles, of course, is all about the preliminary work that comes from developing yourself. Pentacles, especially the first 10 cards, is all about self-development, self-cultivation, material cultivation as well, of course. Being out in the world and finding a way to support yourself, to make money, but also to become a better person in a material sense. So acting in the world in a way that is beneficial. All right, then we have the Five of Wands in reverse. So there's two possibilities here. The Five of Wands in the upright can be about training, practicing, and especially in regard to conflict. Some people are very conflict averse, which may be what this reverse, conflict averse, did I say that right? Which may be what this reverse card is speaking about. And it is, if you are very conflict averse, then you're not very good at standing up for yourself or for what you believe in or for others that you may think need or deserve someone to stand up for them. You just can't do it. So developing courage may be an issue here. I'm not sure why we have what looks like a bear in the Seven of Pentacles. Looks like that bear is considering eating all the berries. Hopefully the bear is waiting for the berries to ripen first. All right. Then we have the Magician. The Magician is also a card of self-mastery, mastering the elements. It is, for me, the card of the divine masculine in the spiritual aspects. And then we have the Four of Pentacles, which is a... Fours are typically about foundation. They can also be about protection. In this case, you see someone, the squirrel, protecting their stash, protecting their material wealth, their food. But it could also be protecting yourself. Again, that goes along with the idea of someone who is afraid of conflict. Very self-protective, but not in a healthy way. Then we have the Queen of Wands, fire and water. For this particular deck, I use an alternative card for the Queen of Wands because the one that came with the deck is wildly inappropriate. The original meaning of this particular card is protection. So I find that interesting that this idea has come up again. But also the Queen of Wands in reverse may very well be someone who is afraid to be seen, afraid to be heard, afraid of their own fire. A wallflower rather than the charming, charismatic, warm, entertaining, life of the party kind of person that the Queen of Wands typically is. Then we have death. Death, of course, means an ending, but it also means transformation. So yes, there has been an ending of something. And it looks like this difficulty with standing up for oneself is part of the problem. It may be what is being transformed. I shouldn't say problem. It contributed to this ending. Might not be a problem. It may just be a natural progression. So now we have the Five of Pentacles in reverse and meditation, another card which is unique to this deck. All right, so Five of Cups in reverse. The Five of Cups is about learning a very painful lesson. it is about loss. It is about the potential for progress, for something new and different and better after this lesson is learned. But first you must get through the pain before you can head out to the other 2 cups that have not spilled. We don't know what's in those cups. That's still a mystery. But with the presence of meditation here, we have a suggestion that looking within is the way to go to overcome or integrate this lesson. And if you have been holding back, if you have been fearful of loss or just trying to deal with loss, meditation may help you with that. I will say that not everyone benefits from sitting meditation. It is very popular, very widely recognized, but there are other ways to meditate. So do not feel it like, sitting meditation is the only way to go. I myself primarily practice moving meditation. So I do sitting meditation from time to time, but I get the best results from moving meditation. So bear that in mind. Look for a way or form of meditation that works for you, and don't feel like you have to do the sitting meditation. It can be particularly difficult to start out that way. All right. There's a card that's been showing itself. I'm not sure whether it really wants to be talked about. It appears not. Okay. The next thing to consider is a change in perspective. More than a change in perspective. We have the Tower in reverse. For me, the Tower in reverse is great internal changes. The foundation of your world, your life, perhaps your identity, is falling apart. And you're having to find a new way of being, a new way of living. Comes back to this new attitude here, perhaps. So it's a major shakeup. It's an internal shakeup, but it is a major shakeup. Oh, that's extremely odd. I do not know how I missed this. Wow. I really, really did not see that card. Hand, in need of help, assistance, and guidance. So if you're accustomed to going it alone, perhaps it's time for you to seek out someone, perhaps a spiritual guide, perhaps some kind of counselor, mentor, teacher. I don't know what your situation is, of course. But it appears that some truth-telling has begun. The truth-telling is probably to yourself if it's just beginning. That's where it always starts. You have to be honest with yourself before you can be honest with anyone else. So the progression I see here is the problem is an internal one. Primarily. I'm not saying it hasn't manifested in your exterior world. I'm sure it has. But you need a new perspective on it. And getting help can really, getting somebody else's perspective can be very helpful. Just make sure that the person you're going to for help is actually helpful. If you're going to someone who is invested in the problem, invested in maintaining things the way they are, that will not be helpful. So that's when you need somebody who is outside of the situation, who can have a different perspective. So becoming honest with yourself is a very big step, and it can be very painful, but worth the effort in the long run. So be courageous. I know that's a challenge for you, since you don't like conflict. But you deserve to learn how to stand up for yourself and for the things and people that you believe in. I am wishing you all the best. Good luck.